Welcome back, everyone. There are millions of caregivers in our country who are supporting family, friends, or employers.
It's not always an easy or a rewarding job. However, as many baby boomers are retiring, more support is needed.
Kim Linder is the host of the Caregiver Hour radio show. She's joining us armed with advice on becoming a successful caregiver in this new age of caregiving. And are you finding, Kim, that there are a lot of people right now looking after their parents?
Yes, looking after their parents, looking after their spouses, and looking after their children. Caregiving is intergenerational.
You know, it can be difficult to balance your life as a caregiver, you know, with everything going on. What advice do you offer people on how to do it?
Well, I do talk about having support groups, going to support groups, because those are so beneficial. You meet other people who are in the same situation as you, who can give you advice and guidance and support. That's what you're looking for. You want information, you want to know the resources, and you want to have the guidance to help you create that balance.
What are some of the biggest challenges that caregivers are facing right now?
I think they're trying to figure out how to create that balance, like you said, and how to create their time and where are the resources, because they don't know necessarily. All of a sudden, they get this phone call that they're jumped into this situation and they don't know where to turn to. And that is why we have a radio show and doing a symposium to try to help them find out the resources. We're bringing it all together for them. Every week on the show, we have different professionals and experts to help explain the different steps in caregiving that are available.
I can imagine it's very stressful for caregivers at times. And that's part of the balance, which we just mentioned.
Yes.
But what are some of the biggest what are some of the biggest stresses, would you say?
Financial. People are retiring. Baby boomers are retiring. They think the money that they've set aside for themselves are going to be for their travel and their happiness. And all of a sudden, they're having to use that money to help support their parents in their home or maybe even moving into a facility.
What are some of the types of resources that are available to caregivers to ease their burden a little bit?
That's a great question. Depending on what has happening in that lifestyle, you're looking at the Area Agency on Aging. Every state has an Area Agency on Aging, and we happen to have a wonderful one here in Pinellas County. But you're also looking at the Alzheimer's Association. And if you go online and Google caregiving, there are many different opportunities. People can do support online. They could find resources from all different areas, so they don't have to be necessarily just local, it can be national. So it's really going to support groups, seeing what local resources are available and also national resources. There are books, there are so many authors now on caregiving.
All right, you know, from the caregiver's perspective, oftentimes it gets to the point where you have to move someone into an assisted living facility, and that can be such a traumatic and a difficult move. What advice do you offer to people having to move their loved ones into a home like that?
Well, I used to work in assisted living, so I know what those families are facing. And you need to go do your homework. You do want to go and look around. And I start saying to you, look in a radius that's about 10 miles around where you live, because you want to be able to get to them as quickly as possible and as often as possible. You don't want to be 20 miles away. You want to try to do it within 10 miles, because you're going to have to look at doctors. You're going to have to be visiting. They still will want to have some connection with you, and you want to be able to do that too. And that's also part of the balance. How do you fit that into your schedule? How do you get your other family members to visit them as well? So I think the best thing is really to do some research online, because there are tips online, but also you want to go and visit ones that are around your area, and you want to visit at least 3.
Okay.
You really have to set your boundaries, don't you, as a caregiver? Because if you're not looking after number one, you're not going to be much use to anybody.
It's true.
Really.
Cindy, you're saying the right thing. You're right on. And really, how to create that balance could be really by meditating, learning how to just have that time for yourself. And it doesn't have to be a 20-minute meditation. It could be actually just a 3-minute. It could be in your car. It could be at your office. It could be in an airport. It could be anywhere you are, but just taking that time to learn how to meditate and center yourself and ground yourself will really help you feel refreshed and take care of everything.
Wonderful.
All right, well, Kim Linder, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
All right, and you can head to DaytimeOnline.tv to get a link to Kim's website.
You can find out more about the symposium there. Thanks, Kim. Hey, be sure to stick around, because Daytime is going to be talking about a subject that can affect many children.
Bullying, so stay with us.